Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Christmasland with Kira and Amelia. I am your faithful tour guide, Kira Davis, and I am joined by my good friend and Christmasland expert, Amelia Hamilton. Amelia, welcome back. How are you doing today?
Doing well. It's starting to feel cold. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's 85 degrees here today
Yeah,
in
no. No to
California.
that.
It's very, and I get surprised every year, like every November. I'm like, why is it so hot? It's supposed to be sweater weather. But November in Southern California is hot. That's what it is. But
Yeah.
after almost 20 years here, I have not been able to accept it in my mind. So every season, I'm watching people like you, Amelia, get your sweaters on, get your soup recipes out,
Mhm.
and I'm like, ugh. I guess we'll go to
I
the
mean, it's still not
beach.
cold enough for me, but it was in the 40s today, which felt good.
I think you're firmly in sweater weather for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? If you want to, we could maybe make an appeal to some of our Christmasland set designers. Maybe they can come bring you some snow, some fake
That'd be great.
Christmasland
That'd
snow.
be great. Some
Get
fake
you,
snow that doesn't melt,
yeah,
potato
yeah,
flake, please.
yeah. Just stand out there right outside her window and just like be dropping it all the
Drop
time.
some potato buds on me. Make a girl happy.
And some dish soap, some soap
Yeah.
bubbles. Well, Amelia, we've got a great one today. We are venturing a little bit beyond the borders of Christmasland today.
Mhm.
Christmasland, there are very specific rules for Christmasland and a very specific format, but their neighboring city, Holidayland, a little looser, a little more
Yeah.
fun. It's like the Vegas of the Christmas universe. And as we know, what happens in Holidayland stays in
Mhm.
Holidayland.
It does.
So everybody needs to prepare themselves for what we're going to hear today.
Because it's not staying in Holidayland, actually, this time. We're telling you.
Yeah, you're living vicariously through us. Amelia and I took a trip to Holidayland for you. Before we get started, though, I want to read our statement to our creators who have so wonderfully provided this movie for us for our
Mhm.
entertainment today. So this is to the makers of this movie. We here at Journey to Christmasland are completely sincere about our love and joy for the universe of cheesy TV Christmas movies. We may poke fun at productions or scripts or silly storylines, but it's all in good fun and done with the deepest respect for the men and women who make this glorious entertainment. So, to everyone who worked on the film we're reviewing today, please know we are so grateful. We are fans. We don't want you to change anything or do anything different, ever. You are perfect the way you are. And we hope you enjoy our commentary as much as we enjoyed your project. Thank you and congratulations on making a movie. Now, everyone, grab your hats and your mittens, grab your hot toddy. Let's take a
And
journey
clutch your
to,
pearls while you're at it.
yes, clutch your pearls. Let's take a journey to Christmasland's a slightly grungier neighbor, Holidayland. Amelia, set up our
Also
movie for
known
today.
as Netflix. This
Set us
week,
up.
we are watching 24's Hot Frosty. Now, this is about, it's sort of the Frosty story where a snowman comes to life, except he's hot. I mean, it's the name is in the story is in the title. Here's something I didn't realize, though, until it got started, which I texted you, and it was one of these texts that I sent without context, and you were like, "What are you talking about?" I decided not to respond to you because I thought I would just tell you now. It turns out that the writer of this film, Russell Heinlein, was the third writer on Three Wiser Men and a Boy.
Shut up.
No, that's because it's so funny. It's got a lot of that wit, but it still has a lot of heart to it. And I was worried that it might go too far into Holidayland and just not feel like Christmas, but it still had some of that Christmas feeling and that heart to it. And as I was getting started and I saw his name on there, and he had actually just been tagged in a post on our Instagram by Matt Hamilton, who plays Mark Leclerc. So I
Yes.
recognized the name.
Matt
Hit
Hamilton, by the
IMDb.
way, won the Christmas Ham Award for our
He did.
episode, Roy is Good with His Hands on
He
Three
did.
Wiser Men and a Boy.
So
He's a
we
winner.
are begging those three writers to give us the Mark Leclerc origin story, please.
Oh
But
my
I had
gosh.
just seen the name Russell Heinlein literally about 20 minutes earlier on our Instagram. And then when this movie started, I saw his name and I felt better about myself watching
I feel
potentially a
like this is
Holidayland
a
movie.
sign, Amelia. We're not letting the Mark LeClark movie go. We're not letting the
We're
Mark
not.
LeClark
Never.
feature go. I feel like this is our sign. This is our mission. Everyone has their purpose in life. And
Yeah.
I think we found ours. Well, I'm so glad you said that. A, that's an amazing fact. Thank you. Amelia researches. She always does her research. But the other thing I think is amazing that as fans of Christmasland, we can see the threads, we can see the
Yeah.
signatures of the people who make these movies. And I think that speaks so much to the talent level of the people who participate in this genre. And they get a lot of flack, even from people like us, because, in a lot of ways, these movies exist to sort of poke fun at. Oh, those movies, in a lot of ways, these movies exist to poke fun at in a way. But then there is the
Mhm.
complete sincerity of them, which we love, and which sort of makes it just an all around enjoyable experience. So I love that you noticed, and I noticed too. I just didn't have a place to put that information.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we've got a connection to our episode, one of our favorites, Three Wiser Men and a Boy.
Mhm. Yeah. So I felt good going into this movie, and I had heard that it was good. Even I would, because when I first heard about this movie, I was a little skeptical about a hot snowman.
Yeah.
But I had heard that it was sweet and, like, better than you might expect. It was so funny. It was so good. So we start with a little voiceover again about, you've heard the story of snowman that comes to life, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be a little different. We've got Lacey Chabert. So we're kind of in that Christmasland mood. Her house is falling apart. We see a picture of her with some man. We don't know what's going on. The house is falling apart. The roof is leaking. The heat is out. Something's
The
up.
stairs are broken. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
freezing. And I felt this opening scene. I felt this opening scene so much. I mean, if you've lived in a northern climate at all, you know the days where you get up and the heat's not working for some reason or you just don't have heat. And I mean, I learned when I was a kid, I learned how to get dressed under my covers for school in the
Yeah.
mornings. Like I felt how cold she was, but I just want to say that this
Hmm.
is a testament to absolute like goatness of Lacey Chabert. She is one of the Christmasland queens.
Hmm.
She's one of the queens of the universe, and we get to see it right from the start. She puts you right there.
She does. So she goes into work. We find out she lives in the town of Hope Springs, and they're having the snow sculpture competition today. Immediately, I was like, Netflix has such a bigger budget than Hallmark.
Yeah, they have real
Like, her
stuff.
house, the town, the
Yeah.
decorations, the cinematography. I was like, this is a movie.
Yeah, this is a movie. I have to say, Amelia, it took me a few minutes to sort of adjust to the new time zone if you would.
Yeah.
The idea of like I had to really convince myself or remind myself I'm not in Christmasland. Okay, so same rules don't apply. So when I was looking at the sets right from the start, you're noticing this is a different kind of movie than we usually review. So I had to remind
Yeah.
myself, okay, you're different rules. You're not viewing the same type of movie, and that's the lens you got to look at it through. And that was my first indication, the
Yeah.
set budget.
Yes. Yes. She works at Kathy's Cat. Well, she doesn't work at Kathy's Cafe. She is Kathy, which I thought was a little bit odd. She's too young to be a Kathy, but okay, fine. She's Kathy from
Yep,
Kathy's Cafe.
yep,
And we know she's just a sweet, nice woman because she stops by Mel and Theo. They own like a secondhand clothing kind of shop, like vintagey clothing, secondhand consignment stuff. She stops by to bring them a sandwich because she knows they're going to be busy today. And here's where we kind of get the story rolling. What did I just say? The woman's name is Mel.
Mel.
Mel tells her about, okay, here we go. Here's our stitch it on a pillow moment right at the beginning. That her mom always told her, you never find the warmth unless you venture out into the cold.
I liked it though.
It
I
was way
liked it.
better than a lot of them.
I think Holidayland has better advice, but it's probably because they have like a grittier lifestyle. So they've
True.
learned more lessons.
Right. She's actually been out in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd buy that pillow.
Yeah. And so what happened with Mel in her life is one day she decided she was going to take her mom's advice and just kind of literally, she put on her favorite red scarf and she went to the bar. And at the bar where they served alcohol in Holidayland, she met Theo, the love of her life. And then just a few days ago, a similar red scarf came into their store. And she knew there was a reason for it, and now she knows. So she gives it to Kathy and tells her it's time to find her warmth too. It's time to get out there.
I think it says a lot about their meeting origin story. Like, again, difference between Holidayland and Christmasland. I've never heard of anyone meeting in a bar at Christmasland. You would meet
No.
at a Christmas festival or when you were in high school. A lot of
Right.
people meet in high school in
Right.
Christmasland. Yeah, they know
Yeah.
each other from the old days,
Yeah.
but
They
nobody
might
meets at the bar.
they might have said pub, but I mean, still,
But we know
it
what
was
it was.
alcohol.
And they were drinking. I'm gonna give it to them because it's still a Holiday Land. They were drinking eggnog at that bar, but it
You
was
think?
definitely spiked.
All right. All right. So Lacey Chabert, Kathy, goes out to check out the snow sculptures, which were extremely fake snow, but it's
Well,
okay
it's fine. It had to be because, they were
because
pretty intricate designs.
they were extremely intricate designs. So she puts her scarf on. Somebody sculpted just a straight up naked man.
Yeah, just a naked
Like,
Adonis
you
type.
go, Hope Springs.
Yeah, man, Hope Springs is like it's a different kind of population
In my
up
little
there.
town, the Facebook page would be popping off
No
if
doubt,
somebody was like putting a naked man in the town square.
no doubt, and a matter of fact, I don't know
Scoop chatter.
why the town square then wasn't popping with, like, decorations. I'd be pointing everything to the naked snowman in the naked
Yeah.
hot snowman in
I
the
just
town
feel like
square.
there would be some old lady on Scoop Chatter like, "How dare you?"
Yeah,
And then
well,
somebody would be like, "Well, it's art," and somebody would be like, "It's obscene," and the Scoop Chatter thread, the comments would be going crazy. The admin would have to shut it down
then the flyers start.
when the flyers start.
Yeah,
It would
immediately.
never end. It would never
No,
end.
it was a pretty intricate snowman, though.
It was.
Mhm.
So as she walks away, comes to life, and it is Dustin Milligan, Ted from Schitt's Creek.
Yes, we love that show. Great show. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it.
Yes.
When you recommended this movie, when you put this movie on the schedule and I went to look, I was like, "Oh, I like him."
Mhm.
And he is he's always, he has a very affable nature to him, which I
He's
think
very
makes him great.
Canadian.
Yeah, it's very Canadian. He's very nice. Yeah, he's a very nice boy. At least that's
Not
how he
only is he
comes across.
Canadian, he's from Northwest Territories. Like, he is
Man, is he?
extremely Canadian.
That's like way Canadian.
Yeah,
Well, he does a great job of acting like a normal Canadian.
he does. He does. I
Yeah.
mean, we loved him as Ted.
Yeah, no question, no question. So, yeah, I was really happy to see him, and, I mean, true to form, he really embodied the spirit of the naked snowman.
He did. He's obviously nude because except for the red scarf because he is the snowman. So he's walking down the street naked and this
Wait,
couple.
wait, can we talk about the scarf?
Okay.
Can we do can we talk about the scarf? He comes to life,
Oh, the
everybody.
scarf placement?
This scarf is a very long scarf, okay?
Mhm.
So it's very conveniently very one of those scarves that your grandma knits and she doesn't know how to end. So it just goes on and on. Very long scarf. And he comes to life in this Terminator moment.
Right.
When Arnold Schwarzenegger comes into the modern times, he like poof and he raises up and he's like naked. This guy does kind of the same thing, but this scarf is completely strategically placed so that the entire body of the scarf is right down his torso, comes right between his legs, and is obviously taped conveniently over his crotch area, which I feel even weird saying the word crotch in reference to Christmasland.
I know.
I feel
There's
weird
more
even
Ken dolls down
referencing.
there in Christmasland.
Yes, it's like Ken dolls. No one has crotches in Christmasland. So I felt really odd looking at it. I was like, wow, well, you know what? I love how they do. And we saw everything, but
Everything but. And then they kind of zoom in on his torso and he like throws the end over his shoulder so you know that everybody else is seeing everything.
even like the whisper of seeing nudity in Christmasland is a lot. That was a
Yeah, I
lot. And
mean,
again,
we were horrified by the really oversized towel on Three Wise Men.
yeah,
And
on
this,
Three
like,
Wives of It. Yep.
forget it.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, again, another moment where I had to remind myself, we're not in Christmasland.
Right.
This is okay. It's acceptable. This is the culture.
Right. This is okay. So he's walking down the street. He just came to life. He doesn't know what to do. But he sees a picture of people wearing clothes. So he's like, I guess I should wear clothes. However, In the meantime, he sees these people walking their dog, and the man is it's this older couple. The man is scandalized. The woman is 100% into everything she's looking at, which is not his face.
I liked this because she was like, "We should go investigate."
The husband's like, "Don't look. We need to go. We need to get the police." And she's like, "Let's go talk to him. Let's investigate. Let's find
This
out
requires
more."
this requires more investigation.
And it's like, "Eyes up here, lady." So he breaks into Mel and Theo's shop and steals like coveralls, like gas station old fashioned coveralls, and the name tag says Jack. So, and just like a pair of galoshes, snow boots. I think probably Sorels, in my expert opinion. The next morning, Kathy like finds him and he recognizes her from when he's like, "Oh yeah, I know you. Like when I was Snow and then you put a scarf on me and now I'm alive. And that was you." And she's like, "Okay, crazy person, why don't you come into my diner and we'll figure out what to do." Um,
Well,
but we
and
get
still
little
because in Holidayland, it's still, people are still not it's still the Christmas universe. So, you know, Kira and Amelia, would we invite a strange naked man or half naked man into our diner, with all of our customers, this guy that we just met? No, we would not do that. But in Holidayland, you can still do that. He might be a little crazy, but he's not going to be violent crazy.
right. But she doesn't want to call the police because the police are a little overzealous. The sheriff in this town is a little overzealous. Police have been called about the streaking incident the night before, and we find out that the sheriff, Craig Robinson, who was exceptional, he was so funny in this
Exceptional.
movie, Sheriff Nathaniel,
Craig Robinson from The Office, from
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Nine-Nine.
Nine-Nine, and I'll Craig from
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah, great performance.
He thinks the mayor is out to get him, and it started after the third time he had his car towed. At the third time, he had the mayor's car towed.
Right, right. Well, he's the long arm of the law. He makes that very
Yes,
clear.
yes.
He's on this a man on a mission.
Yep. Kathy is like, I don't know what to do with she just decides to call him Jack because he's wearing the name Jack on his coveralls. She doesn't know what to do with Jack. He seems like a really nice guy. What she doesn't know, he's obviously crazy because he says he was a snowman. He's really cold to the touch. So she decides just to take him to her friend who is a doctor and they're going to, figure this out. And her friend is like, okay, well, first of all, he's super hot. Maybe he's telling
I
the
like this. I like this actress. Can I just say I like this
yeah.
actress? She does a lot of other work. I can't remember her name, but I've seen her, and I think she's got a show on ABC. I remember her from Eastbound and Down. That was like a great show, and she was great on that. I really enjoy her whenever she shows up. And also she's got, not to be biased or anything, but she does have the most incredible dimples.
I mean, you and I both appreciate some dimples.
I'm just saying, whenever I see her, it's dimples first. I'm not quite sure why this woman is not a bigger personality in Hollywood than she
Yeah.
is, but really enjoy her.
Yeah. So one thing I always love about Netflix movies is the Easter eggs that they give us. So we have this moment where the doctor says to Kathy, and they're obviously friends. I think her name's Dottie. So Dottie says to Kathy, maybe he's telling the truth. Kathy says, and maybe I'm the Queen of Aldovia, who is from A Christmas Prince.
My husband was like, when he was watching, he was like, Aldovia, where's that? And I'm like, duh, it's somewhere vaguely in Eastern Europe.
Don't be ridiculous.
I
So I
loved
love
that.
it.
I did holler out loud.
So she takes Jack back home. She's like, I'm just gonna have to take him home, let him spend the night, you know,
Naturally.
not call the police. He's got to lie low. That was a theme in the movie. He has to just lie low.
Lay low. Yeah.
So she takes him home and they turn on the TV and it's the Lindsay Lohan Netflix Christmas movie. And she goes, that's so weird. That looks just like a girl I went to high school with.
Yes. I was like, okay, I'm here for it. Love
I'm
it.
here for all of these moments.
Yes. Did we do that one? The Lindsay Lohan one?
I think we did, yeah.
We
Where
did
she
on
has amnesia.
ABC. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll include a link in the show
Okay.
notes to that episode. So our older podcast, we rebranded. So if you're new here, we rebranded. Our other podcast, Very Merry Podcast, we did do that. So I'll put it in the show notes. I loved all the Easter eggs. I think that's so fun. I'm not sure that I like that kind of thing a lot in Christmasland proper because it can date your movie
Yeah.
and gotta kinda be evergreen, but I was tickled.
I'm here for it in
Yeah,
Christmasland, and a little bit, like, I liked it
a
in
little.
like, in Biltmore Christmas when they said, like, "This is gonna be better
Yes,
than, In for
I
Christmas."
loved that, yes,
Yeah,
just
like,
not
those
too
little
liberally,
a little bit, yeah.
a little bit.
So we find out so Jack keeps telling her he loves her, he keeps saying, all this stuff. She's like, "Listen, we can like, love is something that takes time, like, calm down a little bit, chill out." We find out that she opened the diner with her husband. Her husband is no longer around, we're not totally sure what happened. Alright. She goes back to work and Jack turns on the TV, and it turns out whatever this man sees on TV, he can do. So she
This
comes
is what
home.
this is what I liked about this movie, so it was, like, a little bit it was part Edward Scissorhands, it was part typical Christmasland movie and part Matrix. Like, he could just look at the TV and instantly download all of the information immediately. That's all he needed. And by the way, I just wanna say, I like this. I like the doctor. I forgot to say this when you were talking about the doctor, but I like the idea that the doctor just went right with it. We have
Mhm.
talked about this in the past. In cheesy Christmas movies, you don't need to waste a lot of time convincing the characters that something crazy is going on. In fact,
Right.
don't, because that's not what we're here for. We're
Right.
all on board with what goes on in this universe. So I love that
Yes.
the doctor was like, well, he could be crazy or he could
Could
be
be your
a
snowman.
snowman come to life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
And
And
yeah,
and then she also, in a funny moment, was like, "You can come home with me." She's like, no." So,
that's
the
too hot.
first day, he decorates her house, he makes her pizza, from scratch, all this stuff. But when he's checking the house for vampires, because he's not really sure what's real and what isn't, he finds her husband's medical records in the basement, and we find out that he died of cancer. So
Whoa,
that
that
is the backstory.
that was very dark. That was very
Really dark.
dark. Yes, in
Really dark.
Holidayland,
Yeah.
people die of actual things, and Christmasland is usually just pretty vague. They're just dead,
Yeah.
right? Mia's parents just died. We
Yeah.
don't know
Right. Or it'll be like
how.
he got sick, maybe, or like there was an accident, but it's not like
Yes.
here are medical records about the cancer.
Cancer that ate him from the inside out.
Right. And she even said, like, it happened really fast, which is good because he didn't suffer, but it was so hard. Like, oh, that's a lot.
It was a lot for, again, having to remind myself where we are, like,
Yeah.
we're in a different time zone, but I was like, "Ooh, I feel
Yeah.
weird almost knowing this much about your husband's death."
Right. And part of me wondered why we had to have this. Like, why couldn't she just be in love with the snowman?
Yeah.
But they wanted to give her some emotional depth of, why she was resisting this emotional connection with the snowman.
Yeah.
And again, we're in Holidayland now. They had she had some emotional baggage.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you do have to add a little bit of gravitas to the situation always. I think it was the right thing to do, but I just can't believe we knew he had cancer.
I know. I know.
I just again, we're just tourists over here in
Yeah.
Holidayland. We're
Yeah.
getting used to the
We don't
landscape.
live here. We don't live here. Okay, here's what I couldn't believe. On day 2 of him being at her house, he sees that the roof is leaking, decides to watch a show about it and fix the roof. So he's up there without his shirt on. I was so uncomfortable.
I was too.
I did not like this scene, did not like it. Okay, so he's looking hot on the roof. He doesn't have a shirt on. He's fixing the roof. Lauren Holly drives by. She's a local named Jane, and she thinks he's hot. She's looking at him, crashes her car, like fender bender, crashes her car. So he comes down to help her. There's this whole innuendo laden moment where he helps her with her car. I did not like it. No,
I felt so deeply uncomfortable. Again, this is nothing we would see back home, right? We would never see this back home.
no.
And she was so lustful and he was so naked. It just was a lot to take in. I agree. I felt
Yeah,
uncomfortable and I kept waiting for the scene to end. And there's a whole yes,
yeah.
it's just brimming with sexual innuendo. I don't even feel comfortable saying
No,
sexual.
I'm not. Yeah, and I'm not even going to repeat the innuendo because it was so over. No, I could
We
not
can't
handle it.
even
I
talk
could not
about it.
handle it.
We can't even talk about it.
We can't. I can't even. We're just going to skip it. So she says she needs help with some more stuff at home. So of course he's just like, oh, okay, and goes home with her, where she's invited all of her friends over to watch him fix stuff, which
This was
I'm
like the Edward Scissorhands part. This is the part that made me
Yeah.
feel like Edward Scissorhands.
So I would have been a little bit more okay if it was just this scene because there's not the blatant sexual innuendo. It's just they're like ogling him, which it's
Yes.
still like you're not going to get this in Christmasland, but it wasn't quite as graphic and gross. Meanwhile in town, Sheriff Nathaniel is still like, I got to find this streaker. So that's still going on. He's still supposed to be laying low, but he's out and
But
about. So
yeah, he does not have the ability to lay low. I mean, because he's got a well, and he says this at the beginning too. Kathy owns the diner and she serves people food and that makes people happy. And so he sees that as a service. And so he says, I want to help people. He thinks she's helping people. And
yeah,
she is, of course, but he sees that as very valuable. And he
yeah,
says, I want to be like Kathy. I want to help people. So yes, he's supposed to lay low, but he wants to be like Kathy. He really admires her. He thinks he loves her.
yeah.
And so this is him trying to help. And he doesn't know that doing all of the help with his shirt off really is the help.
That's the help. So he asks, he gets a ride back from these women. He gets a ride back to Kathy's cafe and she's like, "Why are you here? Why are you not in the house?" He's like, "Well, because I was at their house and they gave me a ride." She's like, "What?" Like her head's exploding. So they try to act normal in front of the sheriff. The sheriff can see that he is what he thinks is sweating but is actually melting. And
Yes.
so he thinks that Jack is
Yeah, we did
nervous
not
and
lay this
suspicious.
out. Sorry to interrupt. We did not lay this out, but he obviously still is a snowman. And so when he gets too warm, he starts to melt. So he's
Yeah.
got to go outside and get cold again.
Yeah. So he wants to take a job that the older ladies told him about. Um the school needs like a handyman fixer. And he does not understand why Kathy is saying no to this because, like you said, he wants to help. So they finally make a deal that he can work there, but she's going to drop him off every morning and pick him up every afternoon. But he can go work at the school.
Of course, this is a love story about a woman who falls in love with a man that she has to be a mom
Mhm. Welcome to 2025.
to.
So he is again saying that he loves her and stuff, and she's like, "Listen, I am still a mess since Paul died. His name was Paul." Um, and he's like, "I don't think you're a mess though. You're great." And it's really he's so genuine. It's really, really sweet. And she says that they're friends. And that really means a lot to him, which I just thought it was this really sweet moment.
It really was, and this is so the last movie we did Christmas on Windmill Way, and we really struggled with the chemistry between the 2 leads. We wondered if maybe something was off there for whatever reasons, maybe not their fault. But this is where you can tell the actors have good chemistry. They got along, they worked well together. They really were very sweet together. And these are
Yeah.
2 great sort of Christmassy actors. I love their lead energy in the Christmasland
Mhm.
universe. So, yeah, I agree with you. I felt the same way. I thought it was very sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so she picks him up from school and they go by Mel and Theo's. They drive by because they're going to the diner. And there's this glass being delivered from where he broke in. And she's like, interesting, they're getting the window fixed. He goes, "Well, yeah, it turns out if you go on the internet, you can just order things and you don't even have to pay for them." She's like, "No, my credit card is stored. So I paid for
I
it."
love this moment because this was a perfect example of Christmasland universe logic, right?
Right.
A little upset, as anyone would be, you have to charge that. And my husband, by the way, was watching this and he was like, that window was $5,000.
Right.
Like he was
It
like,
was a
that was
huge
thousands
pane
of
of glass.
dollars. Um, a little bit upset, but then, brushes it off. It's like
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
can't fix
I mean, she's
anything in her house.
broke.
She's
Yeah.
totally broke. But then she's like, well, it's fine. You didn't know. Like, I
Yeah.
guess we'll deal with it later.
Yeah. So he goes, the sheriff is coming by. So she's like, "You need to get out of here. I'm gonna," or not the sheriff. The sheriff's deputy, Ed, who is played by Joe Latrulio, who is also incredible. I know him from Reno 911, but he was also hilarious. So
Brooklyn
he
Nine-Nine is where I know him from.
Okay. Oh, yes,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant,
Oh,
Brooklyn
yeah, yeah,
Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, great, yeah. Playing
Yeah,
another version of that and doing it amazingly.
Yeah, and he's, like, really kind and kinda naive, and he's just like, "Okay, whatever," to anything that happens, and just
Yeah.
being really sweet. So she's trying to, like, distract him and be like, "Oh, hey, look over here, don't look at, like, the guy who's probably your streaker." So she sends Jack over. He goes over to the store, and he's replacing the glass and all proud of himself. She's trying to distract Ed. But meanwhile, Jack decides to confess to Mel and Theo the whole thing. And they're, again, just like, "Okay,
Yeah. They're like, "Yeah, makes sense. That tracks."
that's cool. I'm glad that
Yeah.
I gave her the scarf and it all worked out for her." Um, so Ed has a sketch of the streaker. And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "It kind of looks like your friend Jack." And she's like, "I don't know. Like, does his wife like have a sketch?" She's like, "We have a really detailed sketch from the wife, but it is not of his face."
Yeah, that one I laughed out loud. He was like, "Yeah, but we had to commission another one because it wasn't up his face."
Yeah, so the husband had like, an okay sketch, but of his face. The wife had a really, really good recollection, but it was
It was
not his
detailed.
face.
It was very
Very detailed.
detailed. Yep.
Jack ends up going into the police station to talk to them, and the sheriff has, like, a whole murder board going to figure out who the streaker is.
If he
Like, he's
was
got string and pins and
he was just talking the whole movie, this guy, every scene he's in, he just talks about, like, how he is the arm of justice and he
Yeah.
is the defender of justice, and he will make sure that justice thrives in this town. He's gonna catch the streaker that absolutely nobody is asking to be caught. In
Nobody
fact,
is worried about
everyone wants
this
him to
in
be
the
left
least.
alone.
Yeah, nobody's worried.
Yeah,
I
nobody's
mean, and
worried.
there's also the break-in, but again, nobody's worried about any of this, and he's like, "Don't worry,
Not even
everybody, I've
Mel.
got this."
You're right,
Everybody's like,
not even
"Wasn't
Mel
worried."
and her husband. They don't care. They were like, again, another Christmasland universe sort of
Yeah,
logic. Yes, someone broke our expensive pane of glass, but
yeah,
it happens and the insurance will cover it. And even the husband, we didn't talk about this in the beginning, but he was very concerned about those galoshes. Someone stole his galoshes. It was the
yeah,
only thing he was concerned about. But he was like, look, if all I lose is a pair of galoshes, I'll
yeah,
deal with it. That is Christmasland logic.
yeah. Plus, they weren't galoshes. They kept calling them galoshes, they were snow boots.
It's true. Thank you for saying this, Amelia. The whole time he's talking about the galoshes, I was like, "Well, I didn't see any galoshes. I
No,
saw snow boots."
those are some sorels right there, and they're not galoshes.
Galoshes, weigh in on this. Galoshes, if tell us what you would have given this man for his feet instead of the boots he's calling galoshes. Give us post a picture of the galoshes you think the people of Hope Springs should be wearing because
Mhm.
clearly they don't know what galoshes are. And since we're on the topic, Amelia, of big flubs in this film. My husband wants you to know, Mark wanted me to tell you this. So my husband is in payment processing and ATM machines. He actually his business leases part of what they do is they lease those ATM machines. And so he's an expert. And the ATM machine opening, there's an ATM machine that's across the street from Mel's store
Mhm.
and you see it in the opening because someone tries to get cash out of it. Mark wanted you to know that is absolutely not an outdoor ATM machine. That is an indoor ATM machine, and it would not be functioning properly outdoors. So
That's
big
embarrassing.
flub, big flub.
That's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
it was really, yeah. He really had trouble getting over it.
Um, while he's at the sh so Jack goes into the sheriff's department, sees the murder board, he's like, "Cool, crafts." And the sheriff has pictures of a bunch of people up there, so Jack is like, "You just taking pictures of people?" He's like, Yeah, can I take your picture?" So, of course, he's like, "Sure." He goes in the little jail cell, like, and he takes a picture of him on a flip phone, which I appreciated. The sheriff has a flip phone, take pictures of
Well,
suspects.
you know what? Let's talk about that because my husband and I did comment on that. And then I thought maybe that was deliberate because the whole vibe of the movie was retro, right? From her wardrobe to the cars. In fact, you had to kind of
Yeah.
I was even from the opening scene, I was looking in the movie to see is there a microwave in here? I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be set. And I feel like certain filmmakers do that these days. They don't want to take you out totally out of modern times because we might need some of these modern conveniences. Like even her alarm clock was older,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
But we like to give you the vibe so that you feel more traditional when you're watching it. You feel like this is a different time. So I felt that the flip phone was more meant to continue on with, maybe I'm
Oh,
reading
maybe.
too much into this, but continue on with that theme of it's a little off. It's a little
Yeah.
older. You're in a little bit of a different time.
Yeah. It turns out the reason that Jack actually went to the sheriff's station was because he wants to ask Ed for dating and relationship advice, which Ed is like, "What's happening here that this incredibly attractive man is asking me for advice?" He's like, "I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to ask a girl out. Like, what happens if she wants to kiss me? How do you kiss?" And Ed is just like,
I thought they were gonna take that a little further.
"They did not."
They did not, and I feel like on Hallmark, in some cases, they may have taken that further. They did not. I was surprised they did not take that further. I thought they were
Yeah.
because even, if it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they would have gone in for that kiss.
Oh, yeah, they would. Yes, they would. It would have been like Jake and Ed.
Yes, I was waiting for it, but they didn't go there.
Yeah, but it's really cute because Jack is like he's so pure, like, he doesn't realize that he's super attractive, this other guy wouldn't be considered as much of a catch, he's, a little bit silly, a little bit ridiculous, so he's just like, "Hey, tell me how to date, how do you ask a girl out, how do you dance?" So they're, like, dancing together on the street, it's
And
kinda cute.
I miss that. I just wanna say I miss that innocence in not this is why we watch Hallmark and
Mhm,
watch the Christmas movies. There is this innocence when I watch, I'll call them secular films. I'm always bracing for a different type of relationship. Anything can happen. There's no
yeah,
rules and there's no innocence anymore. Like you're always wondering if something is going to turn into something very adult when it really could be just a
mhm,
friendship and should be a friendship situation. I thought it was really nice to see no, absolutely everyone was on board just for the pure, like, sincerity
yeah.
of it. I liked it.
He does ask her to the dance, and at first she's hesitant because she does have all this emotional stuff going on with losing her husband and everything, but she says yes, and he's so excited. Then comes one of my favorite parts.
It's
There's
the
this
school
whole
dance, right? The
well,
school
the
dance is
montage, shopping montage set to Pretty Woman.
this is so great. It was like, first of all, when they were like, she was like, "Yeah, I'll go to the dance, but we need to get you something to wear." And then I was like, "Montage," because I
Mhm.
love a montage. But then they pumped in the pretty woman, and it was a whole scene. It was so cute.
Yeah, and it was I mean, just like the movie Pretty Woman, they had him, like, coming out and trying on outfits for her, and then she was like, "Yes or no," and then she gives him these little cufflinks and, like, shuts the box on his hands, and he's like,
We we screeched because we hollered. I tell you what, I laughed out loud at that part. I thought it was so cute,
It
and I
was.
thought I bet he was cracking them it looked like he was probably cracking them up filming that scene. Yeah, I thought that was adorable.
It was. It was so sweet. I loved it.
Again, another difference, like, we're watching a movie with a budget because they got the music.
Yeah, true, true. They could afford a Roy Orbison song.
Yeah, Coldplay's in this movie too.
Yeah. So, and this was also one of the funniest moments to me when they get to the dance. He's got this student that he's kind of friends with. He's kind of giving him some advice. And the student, he's telling him like, "Oh, I brought a date too." And the student goes, "Which one?" And he goes, "The one over there, the adult."
Yeah, like, there's only one adult woman in this
Right.
room who's not a monitor, and the kid's like, "Oh, which date is yours?"
The
"Her
adult.
the adult." "Which one did you bring?"
Yeah.
It's not that kind of movie, this isn't Lifetime.
Right. We know something's going to happen because a couple people have said to Jack, like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm nervous. I'm excited." So something's going to happen tonight. And we get this like 90s teen movie moment where they do a full on choreographed dance at the winter dance.
There for every second of it.
I was too.
I wanted more. I wanted more. I didn't think they showed me enough of it. I
No,
just wanted, like, a good steady scene of the whole dance.
the whole thing. I was getting nervous here because I was like, okay, we're getting to the point in the movie where there's going to have to be like, we're going to have to be going into the next act soon. Something's going
Yeah,
to happen to,
we need
change the
climax.
dynamic or something. So I thought, obviously, he's been wearing the scarf in every scene because that's where the magic is. I thought when he was dancing, the scarf was going to fall off.
Yeah. I did too. I thought
I was
something
waiting.
they did a really great job, by the way, through this movie of keeping the scarf on him because the scarf is what keeps him alive. And so
Yeah.
at some like when what do you do with the scarf when he doesn't have a shirt on and
Mhm.
you obviously need him to be free and clear? I mean, the actor
Yeah.
worked very hard, you can tell. So they would tie it around his waist.
Yeah.
They were very clever about keeping it on. And I felt like you. I actually was waiting through the whole movie for the scarf to
Yeah.
pop off.
So I figured, like, here's the point in the movie where we're getting to where we need the third act, something needs to happen. It's gonna fall off at the dance, and
Yeah.
he's gonna, like, melt in front of everybody, but it didn't. The ice sculptures start to melt, so Kathy realizes it's getting warm in here. Jack needs to cool off or something's gonna happen. So she rushes him outside, um, and they actually do start to kiss. It's the moment that Deputy Sheriff Ed described where they kind of lean in. He's like, "You'll be able to see it in her eyes. You'll know that it's time to kiss." And he does. So he doesn't kiss her, which I thought this moment again was so sweet. And so she's like, What happened? Why did I do something?" And he says, "No, but I'm a snowman and I don't want you to get left behind again."
Mm, mm. And I love that it's opposites attract kind of thing, right? I get it. He's a snowman. He lives in the world of cold. She's a real human being. She lives in the world of warmth. And really, how could they be together? And let's not even, you know, think too deeply about how their romantic life would work out when he is so ice cold.
Ew.
So, but it was a very sweet moment.
It
Another
was.
genuinely sweet moment.
Yeah, and, him prioritizing her, it was really, yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, genuinely sweet. So, the dance is over, and the next day, the sheriff is walking by the poorly placed ATM, and he
Yes.
realizes that it has a camera.
But Mark said the camera would definitely not be working because if it was out there in the cold for more than an hour, he said the screen itself would have shorted out by now. I'm just saying.
Not in Christmas
Next ti
landmark.
Not in Christmasland, but, if you guys are gonna write scripts from now on and you need an ATM consultant,
Right.
hit me up. I'll
Yeah,
send you my husband.
we got a connection.
Yeah.
Back at Kathy's diner, they are having I'm sorry, Kathy's Cafe with a K. They're having a special Christmas Eve
It's 2
eggnog.
Ks. It's 2 Ks, not 3.
Not
The
3K.
the It's not 3K, it's not the KKK, it's the
Oh, the
KK. You gotta
KKK
be
diner is the
careful.
KK
You gotta
diner?
be careful with the Ks, y'all.
I know, I thought that, I was like, "Why didn't they just call it Kathy's Cafe, but her name is spelled with a C?"
They're a little more clever there in
I
Holidayland. It's
guess.
like it's like they go to the barber sh the beauty salon, and
Yeah.
it's beauty salon with a Z, you know?
So they're having this little eggnog night. Of course, all of our friends from town are there. We've got the Lauren Holly and all of her pervy friends. We've got Theo and Mel and,
The
everybody's there.
doctor.
Dottie, the doctor, they're all there.
And we know Dottie's crazy. Dottie is so out there because she has crazy earrings, everybody.
What?
Yeah, she's super
So
crazy.
silly.
She's so silly.
So so they're like so Kathy's like, "Listen, everybody, I just want to thank you for coming out tonight." She gets everyone's attention, and the sheriff comes busting out of the bathroom. She's like and he's wearing sunglasses, and she's like, "How long have you been in the bathroom?" And somebody's like, "Why are you wearing sunglasses?"
Is he wearing so no? Because Lauren
How long
Holly
have you
said
been
that because she
hiding in
said what
there?
I was literally thinking.
Like,
Is he wearing
nobody even
sunglasses
cares.
at night? And then Kathy's like, "And how long were you in the bathroom?"
Like, nobody even cares what he has to say. They're just like, "Why are you the way that you are?"
It was a genuinely funny moment.
It was really funny. And he's like, "I know who the criminal is," but they, like, genuinely just don't care.
Yeah.
So he says he knows who the criminal is, and Kathy's like, "You guys, he is a snowman. I put a scarf on him and he came to life. Okay? He didn't know any better and he needed some clothes." So, or
And
actually, sorry, the
everybody's like,
doctor says that. And so everybody's just like, "Okay."
"Okay. Makes sense." Yeah, Donnie's like, "Don't you remember? You guys, don't you remember?" Like, she has that
Yeah.
cute Southern accent too, but "Don't you all remember when we put him in the town square?" And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, yeah,
And they're like, "Oh, yeah.
that makes sense.
I remember that. Yeah. Okay."
Alright."
And Kathy's just like, "Everybody's buying this?" And they're like, "Yeah."
I kinda like how Kathy is the voice of the viewer in a way,
Yeah.
right? That those things this is the whole reason we have this podcast actually, because we are that external voice going, "Well, what about this?"
Yeah,
And
why
so
was he in the
that's what
bathroom?
yeah, that's what Kathy is in the movie. I thought that's
Yeah,
cute.
yeah. But sheriff doesn't care, doesn't believe he's a snowman, arrests him and takes him down to the station, which they keep at 75 degrees, which I think is a crime in its own.
Well,
That is
being from
too
Southern
many degrees.
California, that's exactly what I would require it to be on. My heat comes on at 70.
No, no. So he tries to take Jack's fingerprints, but he doesn't have any. So the sheriff assumes that he's burned them off because he is some, career criminal.
He's deep yeah,
Um,
this is some really, like yes, some really experienced criminal
right, who has
who
burned off
burns
his
off his
fingerprints.
fingerprints so he can go streaking in small town America.
Right. He is melting in his jail cell. Kathy shows up and is like, "Listen, you've got to let him out. He is going to melt in here. You've at least got to give him bail." The sheriff says, "Okay, fine. Bail $2,000, which is an insane amount of money in this
Yeah.
town." I honestly, what is bail for streaking? I don't know. Apparently,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
and he seemed to just set it arbitrarily,
Yeah.
but maybe not.
So she empties out her safe, but she's still a little bit short. So she shows up. She's like, "This is all the money I have. Just take it. Come on." And then the rest of the town shows up. They pass the hat around. Everybody chips in. It's kind of an "It's a Wonderful Life" moment where
Yeah,
everybody's gonna help get his bail. And the
yeah,
last $10 comes from the sheriff's son, who it turns out is the kid at school that he's been kind of friends with, mentoring.
yes.
But are they too late? Because Jack is unconscious in his jail cell. So they carry him out and they lay him in the snow to cool him down again, to get him back to snowman temperature. And as he's laying there unconscious, she tells him that she's falling in love with him and she kisses him. And the doctor is like, he's gone, which I thought was kind of funny because, like, how do you know? Like, is there no heartbeat? How do you call it for a snowman? Time of
I
death?
just
I
he
don't know.
looks like he's gone.
He looks dead.
Well, and
So
then when that happened, I was like, another moment where I turned to my husband and I said, "Someone I've never seen anyone die in Christmasland. Like
yeah, true.
we've never experienced a death. You hear about it,
Mhm.
and there's not even fake death. Like you hear about a death way, way in the past, so it's
Yeah,
far back enough that people have gotten back to some kind of normal and kind of gotten over it or whatever. So yeah, it really was shocking to
yeah,
see that, oh, someone can die there.
yeah. So she takes the scarf off of him, which I was like, "Oh, it is over." Like, the scarf was the only thing even possibly keeping him alive.
Yeah.
And she starts to walk away. The whole town is just silent, like mourning. Like, now she's lost these two men that she loved, but he's alive.
He's alive.
So he stands up and he's like, comes up to her and he's like, "I feel weird. I have this weird feeling." And she's like, "Oh my goodness, you're feeling cold." And they suspect that he is a person now,
Now he has been resurrected as a real
as
human
a
being
real
who
person. So
gets
they
cold.
kiss, and that is the end.
They kiss and the whole town claps.
And the whole town claps, and
Yeah.
everybody clapped.
Yep, everybody clapped, everyone was super excited, and that is the end of Hot Frosty. Got
Mhm.
the happy ending, and yeah, I was gonna say something about the end there, and I can't remember. I think I just wanted to make a comparison, like, again, the whole town was just like in B&B Mary, the whole town was really invested
Yeah.
in
But at least there was a reason that the whole town was gathered. I mean, there was in B&B Mary, but there was a reason that everybody was looking, I
yeah,
guess is what I mean.
yeah. Well, Amelia, give me your overall thoughts of this film, wrapping it up.
I really liked it. That one scene had to get cut. I was so uncomfortable. But aside from that, I really liked it. It had a lot more heart than I was expecting. It was really genuinely funny in a lot of spots. I loved it.
I thought it was great. I think the other movie that I wanted to fold into this is Elf. I think it's this mixture of
Mm.
Elf, Edward Scissorhands, and The Matrix. And but I'm with you. Again, we're visitors from Christmas Land.
Yeah.
we have been accused of being a bit prudish. However, we understand that we're visiting and we're touring, and I think Hope Springs is a great destination for
Mhm.
any Christmasland tourist who wants to go over to Holidayland. You're absolutely right. It was a little shocking in some places for our innocent eyes, but had a way more heart than I expected to see. It had the bite. Again, now that I know who wrote it, who's on the
Yeah.
writer team, I can see it. It had enough of a bite to keep it really entertaining. Great sets, a lot, definitely a bigger budget, but a great cast. Everybody was in on what was going on, and yeah, very genuinely sweet moments. I enjoyed this. I think it was a great Christmas movie for Netflix. I do.
Absolutely.
Definitely got a thumbs up from me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, we're not viewing this as a typical Christmasland movie. So, but we like to go through the tropes. So let's just go through a few and see if Holidayland shared any of our favorite tropes from Christmasland. So, was there a precocious kid?
There were the teenagers that he works with at the school. Kind of, but not really, not particularly.
Not too super precocious, but I do feel that the son of the sheriff, who was his friend, his buddy, fills the precocious kid model.
Yeah.
I think he kind of fills it. Tree decorating.
I don't think we saw it. He did decorate her house for her, but we didn't see it happen.
I think there was a moment where they were decorating the tree, but it wasn't.
Was there?
I think so. Okay, baking. Anybody baking?
He does bake her a pizza.
He bakes her. We didn't talk about this moment, but he bakes her pizza. Now she's got the kitchen labeled. Everything that can get hot, she's got the thing hot on it. So I guess he learned how to read on TV as well. But she's got it all labeled hot. And then he says, I can't eat the pizza because it melts
Yeah.
my mouth, but he puts a pizza in the oven and
Mhm.
freezes it and they eat it together. But then later on there's a scene where they're baking cookies together and he does eat one of those cookies. Now
That's
I'm gonna
true, yeah.
forgive that little oversight because it was cute because she's eating a cookie that is a cookie of a snowman. It's a
Oh,
snowman cookie and she bites into it like so delicious and he's like,
I did not notice that at all, that's funny.
yeah, oh yeah, she totally cannibalized. He
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, yeah, they actually replay that at the end, which, um which we'll talk about. You did
Mhm.
not include the end, we'll talk about that, but so was there a snowball fight?
I don't think so.
There
I
was a little bit of a snowball fight when they came down for the Pretty Woman sequence, and they're walking down the steps into the mall, the outdoor mall,
oh,
I guess, and
yeah,
there are some kids waiting, and they throw a little snow
yeah,
around.
yeah,
Doesn't
okay,
quite qualify as it,
yeah.
though. Yeah. Well, I can't think of any real trouble, something that could have been cleared up very easily, a problem that could be cleared up very easily with a simple
No,
conversation. All right, busy businessman, too busy for love?
nope,
No.
nobody's fallen off of anything, being
No,
caught.
no. A person with a Christmas name in the movie. We don't do that trope enough these days, but
I mean, his name was Jack, which felt
yeah,
kinda like Jack Frost, but
yeah. I think that qualifies.
okay.
All right, so not, got a few whispers of tropes in there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't expect to see that in this kind of movie. But we do want to tell our viewers, though, Amelia, if you're watching the film, you definitely should stick around for the end
Mhm.
credits.
Yes, there were some outtakes, which were funny, and also deputy and sheriff's deputy and sheriff, did a little musical number.
If you're a fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you
Yes.
will very much appreciate the ending credits. Well, okay, let's give out some awards. I think it's time to give out some awards. I actually
This was a hard
struggled.
one.
Yeah, this was a hard because everyone was so good,
Mhm.
and it wasn't a typical format. So our first award is the Robert A. Barron Award for Villainry. This is the award that goes to the meanest, most dastardly character in the film. Amelia, who was your choice?
It's gonna have to be Craig Robinson as the sheriff, but I will also tell you that I considered him for all 3 of the awards.
Okay, all right. Well, then I have got to say it's Craig Robinson. I couldn't think of anyone who was a better villain. There weren't a lot of
Yeah.
villainous people. It was a very sweet movie. It was like a genuinely sweet movie. So there weren't a lot of villains, but Craig Robinson, not only was his character set up as the villain, but like he definitely sunk into that, right? He definitely leaned into it.
Yeah.
So he was a great villain. Enjoyed it. Craig
Yeah.
Robinson, I think we
And
both
we
agree.
we should say that his heart does grow 3 sizes at the end.
Yep. Just like the Grinch.
He turns
I
nice.
mean Grump. Just like
Just like the Grump, we can't afford Grinch.
we can't afford Grinch, just like the Christmas Grump. All right, that's the Robert A. Barron Award for villainry. Okay, let's move on to our Christmas Ham Award. Amelia, this is the award we give for the most over-the-top performance, the award for somebody who was just giving it their all, just going for it, swinging for the fences. What is your pick for our Christmas Ham Award?
From, Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Reno 911 and nailed it again in this one. He
Yep.
was hilarious.
He's never not doing good work.
Mhm.
For sure. I struggled with this one as well because I really wanted to give it to Craig Robinson because he was also a great Christmas ham. And in the end, I just decided to give it to Craig Robinson. There's no rules here, and we're in Holidayland. There's definitely no rules here. So this is our show. We can do what we want. I
Yep.
thought about it for a long time, Amelia. I did, but I think he's both his character is the best villain, but
I
also
know.
he just is a great Christmas ham.
I know.
Over the top.
I know. I mean, I really genuinely considered all 3,
Yeah.
giving him all 3. So,
All right. Okay, so let's move on to the Oscar, the Academy Award of Christmas Land. This is the Christmas tree topper. This goes to best performance of the film. And as you heard us say, this was very difficult because the film was just smashed with great performances. So I'm dying to know who you picked, Amelia.
okay. So this one was really hard for me because, again, once I decided that I wasn't going to give all 3 to Craig Robinson, then it was between Lacey Chabert and Dustin Milligan. And I felt like his performance was really sweet, but without going, over to the top where you're just kinda like, "Okay, fine, we get it." It was still, sincere and still really funny, but with Lacey Chabert, I felt like she was playing it could have been, a lot of roles that she's played before, but it had the self-awareness to it, where she was also, having to have a difficult balance, and I really went back and forth, but I'm giving it to Dustin Milligan.
Wow, I was on the edge of my seat for that one, Amelia. I wasn't sure because you made a great case for both. You actually made a really good case for Lacey Chabert. And I just went ahead and completed the trifecta. I gave it to Craig
I
Robinson.
don't blame you
Yeah,
'cause
I thought,
I'm
why
just the
not?
same.
Yeah, I was torturing myself trying to parse it out. I'm like, why not? Let's give him
Yeah.
you know, the
I mean,
the
I was
trifecta,
deciding as we were doing the episode
the
what I
hat
was
trick.
gonna
Yep.
do because,
Yeah.
up until about 30 seconds ago, I still didn't know which of the final 2 were gonna win Tree Topper.
I didn't decide until we hit record because I
Yeah.
too was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna give him the hat trick here. He
It's our
hits
first hat trick in
There's our
history.
first hat trick. You gotta make a special award for this. Is our first
Mhm.
hat trick. Craig Robinson. I just feel like he got it. He went in there. He
He
knew
did.
exactly what his role was. He was the perfect villain, but the perfect villain for Christmas, a Christmas movie, not
Yeah.
too mean, you
No.
know? We didn't hate him.
Yeah, and his
We
motives were really good.
He wanted to keep the town
He wanted
safe.
to keep the town safe.
That's probably why they put up with all his antics. They're always like, he's a little overzealous. But you know what? As someone pointed out in the final scene, there hasn't been a murder in this town for 100 years.
Yeah, he's like, "There hasn't been a murder since I was elected." They're like, "There hasn't been a murder in 100 years."
He's like, you're welcome. Yeah, I think again, like you, Amelia, I could have given it to anybody. I could have given any of these awards to anyone,
Yeah.
but in the end, I'm giving Craig Robinson the full Monty here. Excellent work. Excellent work.
Well, Monty.
It's up here because it's
Wow.
got in my head. It got in my head.
Up there because you teed this up well. Next week, we'll be watching The Merry Gentleman, which is Holidayland After Dark.
I don't know. I think in the future, Amelia, we need to spread these movies out because I don't know if I can do back to back like Holidayland trips. It's very, you know,
See, what I was thinking was we just need to like make one trip. We spent the
okay.
day there in Kathy's nice little cafe.
Okay.
We're going to spend the evening in this weird strip club, and then we're just going to go home.
Okay. That sounds
But
good.
actually, on the way, though, we're going to stop in the black part of town because we had a request to do a BET.
Yeah, we're doing a
It's still going to
BET
be in
Christmas.
Christmas land.
Yes, we're doing a BET Christmas movie, y'all.
We
We'll
are.
have to decide we when we see it, we'll decide which part of the universe it lives in. If it lives in Holidayland, it
Yeah.
might live in Christmasland.
Yeah. We don't know until we see it.
We don't know, but if it lives in Christmasland, it's definitely a suburb because there's not a lot of black folks in Christmasland.
Yeah. It's like, it's like best friendville.
Right. Where all the best friends and the
Where all the
mayors live.
black best friends live. It's like one subdivision where all the black best friends live.
And it's
Nobody
like
has a life. They just wait for the phone to ring. They're like, "Was that mine?" "No." "Okay, okay, fine."
but it's also the best part of Christmasland. It's pristine. They have the best mayor there because all
They
Christmasland
do. They
yeah,
do.
many Christmasland mayors are black,
It's definitely where the
and
mayor lives.
all of the people are super nice because 'cause they're just best friends.
Yeah, they're just waiting to help somebody all the
Yeah,
time.
no trouble in best friendville. Well, I can't wait. My husband, y'all, was the one that requested a BET
Mhm.
movie, so yeah. And we Christmasland is a big tent. It's a big tent.
It is.
There's room for everyone. I'm looking forward to the next 2, I
Yeah.
really am. But, the next one in particular and I saved my Chad Michael Murray award. I was gonna give it to him for Christmas on Windmill Way. So let's see, folks, if he can pull it out, if he can pull out the Tree Topper Award for
Yeah, but
this
don't
next
just
movie.
watch your phraseology of let's see if he can
Phrasing,
pull it out.
phrasing.
Phrasing.
I'm really uncomfortable with this
I'm
direction.
already regretting. I'm pre-regretting our choices.
Hey, everybody, before we go I do wanna ask if anyone out there is hearing this, seeing this, if you went on the Hallmark cruise, drop us a comment and tell us how it was. We saw that the Hallmark cruise was going on. We were kind of flirting with maybe going to the next one. So let us know how you enjoyed it and tell us what happened on that cruise. We're looking at the pictures, but it's not the same as being there. So if you were on the cruise or you know someone who was on the cruise, make sure you hit us up. Hit us up on any of our Amelia's going to tell you in just a minute how you can get in touch with us. Hit us up on any of those or even send us an email and tell us your experience and if we can share that experience with the viewers. I'm just dying to know what it was like. Amelia,
We
set
want to hear
everybody up.
everything. So, like she said, the email is journeytochristmasland@gmail. Facebook is also Journey to Christmasland, and Instagram and X are JT Christmasland.
Make sure you subscribe to all the things, and you're definitely gonna wanna subscribe to the Substack because that's where all of our bonus content is, and in starting during the holiday season coming up pretty soon here, we're gonna have some bonus content for you that's exclusively for Substack subscribers. We're actually doing some unboxing, some mystery Christmas gift unboxing, and we've already recorded a couple of those segments.
They get a little silly. And right now it's all free. So now is the time to
Now
subscribe.
is the time to become a subscriber over there because when we start doing the bonus content, then you're going to be left out in the cold in Holidayland.
And again, it's Journey to Christmasland is our Substack also.
Journey to Christmasland. Well, Amelia, I had a great time actually visiting Holidayland, but our journey is not over. We're gonna go change our outfits. We're gonna get our clubbing outfits on, and
Mhm.
we're gonna go to Holidayland after dark next week. But until we meet again, I wish you days filled with long red scarves that are thick enough and warm enough to cover all your private bits.
I was actually going to wish you a scarf that covered everything that you want covered.
It's like we belong together. It's like we were
Beautiful.
meant to be friends. Merry Christmas, Amelia.
Merry Christmas.